Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor on Ag Am in Kansas. I'm your host, Conrad Cabus. The Kansas Soybean Commission and the Kansas Department of Agriculture are always working to promote agriculture around the state, country, and world. Today's show features stories about South American cattle research, agricultural advocacy, and soybean uses in several fields. Stay tuned.
Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, Progress, powered by Kansas farmers. This segment is brought to you by Kansas Wheat. Learn more at rediscoverwheat.org.
Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor on Ag Am in Kansas. I'm your host, Conrad Cabus. The Kansas Department of Agriculture has found that Uruguay and Argentina have some of the same opportunities as Kansas agriculture. Billy Brown of the KDA recently led cattlemen to explore Argentina and Uruguay in an effort to research and develop new markets for Kansas beef genetics.
Well, we've heard great things about the Argentina and Uruguay beef market and the industry in general, and it's one that mirrors a lot of the same type of production systems that we try to utilize here in the United States. And we wanted to take a look at what it might be like to get some of our genetics into their herds down in Argentina and Uruguay. So we did a market assessment mission to those two countries. And what we found is that their production system is fairly similar. They like livestock that are similar to what we have here in the United States in terms of British breeds, Angus, Hereford. And a major caveat or difference between those two would be that we do more of a grain-fed system here in the U.S. compared to more of a grass-based system in Argentina and Uruguay. But nonetheless, they have similar outlooks on what they're looking for in their livestock, and I think our genetics would match up really well with helping them get more elite genetics into their herd.
Identifying Argentina and Uruguay as two countries with opportunities to expand beef exports and enhance marketing for U.S. beef genetics, the team visited each country's breed association headquarters, 5 ranches, and 2 bull sales. Almost 90% of the cattle raised in Argentina are Angus.
Well, I think it has an opportunity to increase market potential for the state of Kansas. We just pulled some numbers yesterday that demonstrate that Argentina and Uruguay really doesn't buy a whole lot of U.S. agricultural products as it is. $0 in 2013 for Uruguay and about $200,000 in 2013 for Argentina. So we have a great opportunity to access a market that maybe potentially hasn't been utilized to its full capabilities in the past.
While in Argentina, the team visited Angus and Hereford ranches to assess how Kansas genetics could assist around the globe. Uruguay is home to approximately 12 million head of cattle. 50% are Herefords, 25% are Angus, and the remaining 25% consist of other breeds. The cattle industry in Uruguay is very progressive and open to the use of U.S. genetics. Cattle in both Argentina and Uruguay are smaller in stature than that of the average American breed. Argentina and Uruguay producers appreciate a more condensed build, which more idealistically fits their management style and environment.
Well, I think the U.S. is always very competitive when it comes to our agricultural exports, and I don't think that's any different from what Kansas is doing now. When we travel down there, there is some influence from the U.S. already, but the key is making sure that Kansas continues to get a foot in the door and developing relationships with their beef producers and with our beef producers as well, so that they know where they can turn to find the excellent genetics that they need to take the next step to improve their herd. So we're doing some great things. It's a long process, but really it comes down to relationships and telling our story of what we've done well here and how that will complement what they're trying to do in their own country.
This hog is head over hoof for meal made from U.S. soybeans. Now, one hog isn't that impressive, but suppose we add another, and another, and another. Before long, you've got billions of hungry customers around the world all clamoring for the same thing. Our soybeans. Learn more about the billion-dollar appetite of animal agriculture at BeyondTheElevator.com. Brought to you by America's soybean farmers and their checkoff.
Don't forget to register for the 2015 Kansas Commodity Classic to be held on February 6th in Manhattan. Visit kansaswheat.org to learn more.
Turn to a Central National Bank Ag Professional. You'll be in good company. They'll help you track expense lines, manage variable input costs, assess ground agreements, pick a crop protection plan. These times demand Ag Professionals. Central National Bank. You could profit from what they know. Ag operations run better on Central Time.
Central National Bank. Money for life.
Member FDIC in your hometown since 1884.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
This segment is brought to you by Central National Bank. Put our ag professionals to work for you.
Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor on Ag Game in Kansas. I'm your host, Conrad Cabus. Improving and expanding the Costa Rica beef industry while increasing the opportunity for sales of the U.S. and specifically Kansas beef genetics is the goal of the Kansas Department of Agriculture.
Well, in 2011, a group from KDA, the Montana Department of Agriculture, and the American International Charolais Association visited Costa Rica to collaborate with some of their researchers and extension in Costa Rica to look at the possibility of increasing their beef production capabilities, but at the same time working with some of our beef producers to increase and enhance market opportunities for selling their genetics to Costa Rica. So we have a project going on in Costa Rica right now where we are breeding Brahman cows to Charolais and Red Angus bulls from the United States. And with the increased opportunity of getting better carcass quality for their animals down there, but increasing their efficiency as well. And our overall hope is that the project will be able to demonstrate the positive benefits of using U.S. genetics and Kansas genetics for increasing their productivity.
This multi-year program has facilitated the use of U.S. Charolais and Red Angus semen for artificial insemination of Costa Rican Brahman and Nelore cattle.
Well, I think we're going to see a lot of interest in what we're doing down there from the standpoint of how we're going to be able to promote our genetics. Obviously, this is a pretty cool project because we're going to be able to see the progress of these calves from birth when we get weaning weights all the way through slaughter to when we get the opportunity to see their carcass quality data and the improvement of that carcass quality when we put those bulls onto the Brahman-based cows. So from that standpoint, it really isn't different from what a lot of breeds have done in the southern U.S. with creating beef masters or Brayford cattle or anything like that. But from this standpoint, it's going to reiterate that that type of production system can be utilized in other parts of the world as well, which is very beneficial for our Kansas producers if we're able to ship more genetic material to Costa Rica.
Kansas cattlemen participated in a field day in January with Costa Rican cattlemen, where they were able to visually compare the differences between the crossbreed calves and native calves.
Well, in Costa Rica, they utilize more of a grass-based system than they do here in the United States and in Kansas. And their production system, obviously without grain, takes a lot longer for them to accomplish the task of getting an animal to market weight compared to what it does here in the United States. So I think this project really has an opportunity to be able to reduce that time from pasture to plate, which has a great impact not only on our environment, but the profitability of our ranchers both in Costa Rica and in Kansas.
From the Land of Kansas is a trademark program that helps Kansas businesses grow, produce, process, or manufacture Kansas products. Let's meet Original One, purveyors of specialty foods, housed in a 60,000 square foot facility on the historic Southwest Boulevard in Kansas City, Kansas. Original One has been creating specialty sauces, salsas, snacks, and dips for wholesale, retail, and co-pack private label customers since 1998, with over 150 products that are manufactured under 13 different brands. This facility has 2 fully automated production lines with 11 kettles ranging in sizes from 80 to 400 gallons, allowing Original One to maintain its micro-batch approach while still serving large large-size customers. Visit the website www.originalone.com to check out the many brands available.
American innovation is being driven in places you might not expect by people like Brent Hayek, an Oklahoma family farmer, who recently set a world land speed record in a Ford Super Duty pickup truck powered by renewable B20 biodiesel. Advanced performance is here, now, putting America on the fast track to more jobs and energy independence. Biodiesel, America's advanced biofuel.
Hey folks, Dr. Dan from Doc Talk. If you miss us on Monday morning, you can join us at 6:30 a.m. every Sunday morning on RFD TV. Doc Talk has a national following. We're sure glad that you joined us on Mondays, but if you miss us and you want to catch us out on a Sunday morning, get up at 6:30 a.m. and we'll be right there, RFD TV, 6:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, and I'll see you down the road.
Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture, represents grassroots agriculture. The state's largest and most powerful farm organization stands up for its members through leadership development, agriculture education, legal defense, environmental advocacy, farm safety, and risk management. Members also enjoy money-saving benefits. To join our organization today or to learn more, go to www.kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Tallgrass Commodities offers producers bulk commodities at a reasonable price with reliable service throughout the whole Midwest. To find out more about Tallgrass Commodities, visit tallgrass.us or call 785-494-8484.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
Tar Waters has what you need for all seasons for around the farm and home. Working, hunting, growing, feeding, snow removal, even fun for the kids. And a service department with experienced techs to help keep your equipment in top running condition. Tar Waters has a huge selection and the best prices. Tar Water Farm and Home, family owned and operated since 1978. They have what you need.
When your living depends on agriculture, you can depend on KFRM 550 AM. If you're in the southwest three-fourths of Kansas or the northern half of Oklahoma, catch us at 550 AM on the radio dial. But if that isn't you, listen on your cell phone at TuneIn Radio or on your computer at KFRM.com. We promise to keep you informed, entertained, and company as you go through your day. KFRM 550 AM, the voice of the plains. We would like to join your management team.
Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. To join today or for more information, go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor on Ag Game in Kansas. I'm your host, Conrad Cabus. Kansas soybean farmers and their industry partners arrived January 7th in Topeka for the annual Kansas Soybean Expo. The afternoon of the event had Scott Fenwick, Technical Director at the National Biodiesel Board, discussing the KSC-funded pipeline project.
National Biodiesel Board works very closely with the Kansas Soybean Commission on biodiesel technical activities and activities promoting biodiesel across the country. I'm here today to discuss some of the more pertinent and more active technical programs that we currently have going on. We recently completed an ASTM ballot, which is the standards association here in the United States, for 20% inclusion of biodiesel within the heating oil. There's nearly over 8 billion gallons of heating oil consumed in the U.S. every year. 20% biodiesel would account for 1.6 billion gallons alone. That's about equal to the annual production level of biodiesel here in the U.S. Additionally, we work very closely with a lot of the OEMs, the original equipment manufacturers for automobiles and engine manufacturers. What we're doing is looking to gain approval from them for 20% biodiesel and diesel fuel. Right now, 5% biodiesel can legally be sold in the U.S. as diesel fuel. And most of those auto and engine dealers approve 20% in some of their latest equipment. Right now we are approved for B20 in almost 80% of the vehicles produced in the U.S. today, well over 90% for the medium and heavy duty market. What we're doing is working with those companies such as Volkswagen, General Motors, and Ford to get B20 approved across the board for today's equipment.
The National Biodiesel Board looks forward to the future of a growing industry in biodiesel.
We do see a continued growth for biodiesel. Obviously, 2013 was a record year for production with about 1.8 billion gallons. 2014 was a little rockier at roughly 1.6 billion gallons, but those figures haven't been fully confirmed yet. It's been tough with the loss of the biodiesel tax credit, which was recently reinstated by Congress. That was retroactive for 2014, but again, it's lost again for 2015. The EPA is yet to finalize the 2014 volume obligation under the Renewable Fuel Standard as well.
The goal of the National Biodiesel Board is to provide for American consumers on a whole nother level in the future.
Well, our goal at the National Biodiesel Board is to be 10% of the transportation fuel pool by the year 2022. That would be roughly 5 billion gallons. And we feel, again, that the health, the sustainability benefits, without any concerns. There are no environmental concerns. Biodiesel is non-flammable, non-hazardous, biodegradable. It's better for the environment, and it works fine in any diesel application, up to 20%. We're also looking to the future, working with the National Oil Heat Research Alliance in the Northeast on bioheat in order to compete with natural gas and with other new fuels. The Oil Heat Alliance and Oil Heat would like to go to B50 blends by the year 2030. They'd like to be using biodiesel, pure biodiesel, by the year 2050 for all of heating oil. So those are huge goals for us. And we look forward to those challenges and working with those stakeholders on the technical questions still to be answered.
For great food and legendary hospitality, plan a trip to Belleville, Kansas. Belle Villa is located at the intersection of Highways 36 and 81. Offering a full menu at breakfast, lunch, and dinner, Belle Villa is best known for their mouth-watering steaks. The lunch and dinner menu also includes salads, sandwiches, burgers, and seafood. And don't forget the full breakfast menu too. Their customers say it all. I've stopped here several times and enjoyed it every time. And unbelievably perfect. Best service and steak in 20 years of eating all over the country. Make your next meal special at Belle Villa Family Dining Restaurant in Belleville, Kansas.
Buying a car shouldn't be this hard. And at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, it isn't. It's actually awesome. Whether you want a new or used car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. Even if you want to custom order a new car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. See Toby's team at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego. We're awesome. Tallgrass Commodities offers producers bulk commodities at a reasonable price with reliable service throughout the whole Midwest. To find out more about Tallgrass Commodities, visit tallgrass.us or call 785-494-8484.
Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop Liquid Crop Nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more information.
No matter where, no matter why, The Veterinary Health Center at Kansas State University is committed to providing quality patient care to animals and exceptional customer service to their owners. From routine checkups to emergency and specialty care, our world-renowned specialists and experienced professionals are here to discover, to teach, and to heal.
Let us know.
How can I help?
How can we help?
When your living depends on agriculture, you can depend on KFRM 550 AM. If you're in the southwest three-fourths of Kansas or the northern half of Oklahoma, catch us at 550 AM on the radio dial. But if that isn't you, listen on your cell phone at TuneIn Radio or on your computer at KFRM.com. We promise to keep you informed, entertained, and company as you go through your day. KFRM 550 AM, the voice of the plains. We would like to join your management team.
Hello friends, I'm Ernie Rodina.
And I'm Dawn Dawson with the Better Horses Radio Show.
For over 9 years, we've been bringing the Better Horses Radio Show to markets all across the Midwest. We talk about God, lots about horses.
We talk about cows, we talk about horse health, we talk to top trainers, and we even talk about Roy Rogers.
We're having a blast with Better Horses Radio Show and would love to take it to a market near you.
So visit our website at betterhorsesradio.com and let us or your local radio station know you'd like to hear it in your area.
The Better Horses Radio Show is unbelievable.
Ag AM in Kansas is brought to you in part by Sure Crop, liquid crop nutrition delivered right to your farm.
Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor on Ag AM in Kansas. I'm your host, Conrad Cabas. Kansas soybean farmers and their industry partners arrived January 7th at Topeka for the annual Kansas Soybean Expo. Michelle Pan-Knoper, widely known as a change agent, presented the keynote address, Passion for Agriculture.
So at some point, I think that the pinnacle, if you will, of food emotionalism will break. But our opportunity to tell that story will break with it. I see that farmers have done a more effective job in recent years of telling the story. I see a great deal of concerted effort across the agriculture business to do that. But we need more. We need every single voice that's out there in agriculture, because if you care about the way animals are raised and you care about the way that land is taken care of and you have firsthand experience, you're the one who has to be telling the story. And when I wrote No More Food Fights, the book that I released that is a two-sided book, one side for the farm side and one side for the food side, my motivation was to bring people together at the center of the plate, because it shouldn't be a one-sided conversation. It needs to be about both sides. And connecting farm and food is so critical to the future, not only just in agriculture, but I think in our country, because food's basic necessity. So I would encourage anyone out there to really stand up and share your story, ask some questions, and learn from the other side of the plate. Well, the differences that I would have in speaking to an agriculture group versus an urban group would be fairly substantial, because one of the things that I really try to help people understand is it's about connecting with others' hot buttons. And the hot buttons that we have in agriculture are vastly different than the hot buttons of an urban mom. So my positioning is typically, quite frankly, antagonization when I'm working with farmers to try to get them to move into action, to realize that they don't get to just hang out on their equipment and take care of their land and animals as they want to, that this is a must-do for our protecting our future and the bottom line. Whereas when I speak to urban moms, it's more about telling the story, telling farm stories, not only my own, but of friends that I have all across North America, and then also appealing to their mom hot buttons. As a mom, I try to relate and connect with them on non-agriculture issues like shoes and my daughter and hormones and those sorts of things. So it's a very different conversation.
Thank you for watching this episode about soybean innovations and Kansas cattle in South America. For more of Farm Factor, or if you want to view this program again, visit us on www.agamenkansas.com, or you can like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter. So have a good day with good luck.
Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff Progress, powered by Kansas farmers. Don't forget to register for the 2015 Kansas Commodity Classic to be held on February 6th in Manhattan. Visit kansaswheat.org to learn more.